My friends, have you ever experienced this? When someone hurts us through words or actions, we might say, "It's okay, I forgive you." Yet deep inside, a shadow of the pain still lingers. We can't seem to truly forget what happened. Many have asked me, "Venerable Sir, I've already forgiven them, but why do I still think about it? Does that mean I'm committing a sin?" This is not a small question. It touches on the deeper understanding of wrongdoing, virtue, and letting go. People often confuse forgiveness with forgetting. They wonder, if I can't forget, does it mean I'm still holding a grudge? Think of life. Sometimes emotional wounds can't be erased overnight. They're like scars on the body. Though the wound has healed, a mark remains. It doesn't mean the pain is still active. It simply marks that once there was pain. And so, some fear that remembering means they're still angry, and that being angry means they're committing a moral fault. Before answering, ask yourself this. When you think of that incident, does your heart burn as it did on the first day, or is it just a neutral memory? Does remembering make you want to harm them in return? Or is it simply an image in your mind that sometimes surfaces without any wish for revenge? The truth is, remembering and holding a grudge are not the same thing. We can remember without wanting to retaliate. That's the important difference. But sometimes we say, "I forgive you," just to end the conversation, when in truth, we're not ready to let go. That's like putting down half the load we're carrying while the other half still rests on our shoulders. Then, when something triggers the memory, the weight comes crashing back. The Buddha taught that anger is like fire, that burns the one who is angry before it touches anyone else. And saying we forgive while the mind still clings isn't an instant moral fault. But if that feeling stays unexamined for too long, it can grow into the very fire that harms us. So before asking, "Is it a sin?" ask instead, "Do I understand the true meaning of forgiveness? Am I forgiving with wisdom or just to avoid further discussion? Am I ready to move from 'I can't forget' to 'I'm no longer hurt'?" If we answer honestly, we'll see where we stand, whether we are still bound by resentment or simply carrying a scar without pain. So, to the question, if I forgive but can't forget, is it a sin? My direct answer is no, it is not an immediate moral fault. In Buddhism, wrongdoing isn't about whether we remember something. It's about whether our mind is filled with unwholesome states, anger, hatred, ill will, the wish for revenge. If we remember but don't seek harm, if we don't wish to retaliate, then it's not a moral fault. It's simply data stored in the mind, like a file on a computer that remains even though we never open it. But we must be careful, because memories can be like dry wood, ready to ignite when triggered. And if in such a moment we slip into hatred or the wish to see them suffer, then unwholesome states arise, and in that moment we create negative karma. The Buddha compared anger to fire that burns its owner before touching others. And like a fire, it doesn't have to burn constantly. The presence of fuel is enough to start a blaze when sparked. Thus, complete forgiveness is not just the absence of retaliation, but the removal of the inner fuel so no spark can reignite it. Here's an example. Suppose someone insulted you deeply. That day you were angry. Months later, you tell yourself, "I forgive them." But then you hear someone speak badly of that person, and you feel a flash of satisfaction inside. That subtle delight in another suffering shows that deep down, you still keep some resentment, even if you have no plan to harm them. That too is an unwholesome state. How can we move toward true forgiveness? The Buddha gave 3 practical reflections. Understand things as they really are. See that the one who hurt you acted out of ignorance, confusion, or their own pain, like someone bitten by a snake who then lashes out at others. When we view them as a fellow human trapped in suffering, it's easier to let go. Cultivate a gentle heart. Forgiveness is not just saying, "It's fine." It's the sincere wish that they be free from the suffering and delusion that caused them to harm others. If we can genuinely think, "May they gain wisdom, know right from wrong, and find good things in life," our hatred softens. Let go through the understanding of impermanence. Every event is temporary. That painful moment was just one wave in the ocean of life. It has already passed. Holding on to it is like trying to keep a wave in a bottle, exhausting and pointless. We must also remember, forgetting is not a requirement for forgiveness. Some events can't be erased from memory. Our brain naturally remembers significant events, but we can remember without pain. This is the heart of letting go, to remember for the sake of learning, not for reopening the wound. This kind of training takes time, like someone who once had a serious leg injury. Even after healing, they may limp for a while, but with steady practice and strengthening, they eventually walk normally again. So too with the mind. Through practicing wisdom and compassion, the hurt fades into just another story in our life. So, the clear answer, forgiving while still remembering, is not a moral fault, as long as in that moment you are not angry, hateful, or holding on to vengeance. But it is an opportunity to keep training, to be able to remember without pain and to sincerely wish well for the one who hurt you. I leave you with this thought. Forgetting makes us comfortable, but forgiving makes us peaceful. When the heart is peaceful, even if the memory remains, it will not turn into wrongdoing. Instead, it becomes a teacher, one that shows us the value of gentleness and the deep understanding of what it means to be human.